Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gav aka Baytech, and today we're going to be looking at my new project. You can see it, I've got myself a Lexus IS200. This thing is a grey Sport, which I'm actually buzzing about. These are kind of rare nowadays to be in such alright condition. But I decided instead of doing my usual Instagram stories while I repair this thing and bring it back to some sort of former glory, I would actually take it and put it on YouTube, so I can look back over things and see the difference from when I've got the car to what it's going to end up looking like. Plans with this car, and the reason I bought it is because I wanted to increase my driving skill a little bit more when it comes to drifting. Obviously I drift that thing all the time, power slides etc, but I want to get some of this angular stuff on the go and start to learn some transitions and stuff, and I thought what better way to do it than buy a cheap little drift car. So things we need to do is we need to get the thing running. Just now it's running on 4 of the 6 cylinders. I think I know the reason for that, but we're going to go and look into that today. And put all the sort of interior back in again, get the thing potentially raised up a little bit, look over to see what sort of coilovers and suspension and any parts on this thing, because I don't actually know. The last owner didn't know either. Yeah, see what sort of things unfold. I also want to look at the back arches as well to see what sort of rust we've got, because you know these things are bloody rotten. So first impressions, obviously we've got a bit of rust here. Now it looks surface and there's no flex in it, so this might be able to be cleaned up, no problem. But it's down here that's usually a problem in these things. Now I don't know if it's been repaired before, but that's all standard sealer and no holes or anything like that, so that's always a bonus. It actually doesn't look too bad, so these are things I'm maybe going to have to rip off the bumpers and the side skirts to have a look, because these things are notorious for being rotten. And if you give me 2 minutes I'll have a wee look under there, and this side as well. Let's have a quick look. You know what, actually, that doesn't look too bad. I think we've maybe got one hole here. Yeah, we've got one hole here. That probably goes underneath, and we'll need to rip out that inner arch and stuff, but yeah, it's not too bad so far. You know what it's like when you take the hammer out and stuff like that, things can get bad pretty fast. Need to get all the seat belts and stuff like that tied back down again, clean underneath. I took this out to have a look, see if I could find any rust underneath it, and I didn't. And all the footwells and everything are nice and dry as well. So I'm pleasantly happy about that. I've taken the airbox off the top of it just now because I was chasing down an oil leak issue, and I basically found it straight away. The oil cap was missing, and this was the oil cap that guy used, so he just had a glove on it and a condom. But I actually ended up finding the cap for it down here, just lodged down here, so got lucky with that. I just stuck it back on again, but the whole top of the engine, you can still see some of it. This thing was flooded with oil, and this is like a bathtub basically, and the oil basically sat on top of it, and these cylinders here at the back were completely full of oil. So I pulled out the coil packs, pulled out the plugs, cleaned it all down with brake cleaner, whirled it over, plugs back in again, and would you know it, I've got 6 cylinders again. Now, plans with this engine, poor little thing doesn't know what's going to happen with it. The first things I need to do is, this has 2 lambda plugs. I'm actually going to cut out that wiring and run just a single one. I'll just double them up so the ECU sees 2, but it's actually still reading off the 1. I'm going to do some throttle body mods. I need to look into it, but as you can see here, the throttle doesn't open because this part is actually an electronic throttle. And one of the easiest ways to do it is actually just weld the 2 together so they both move at the same time. It's supposed to crispen up some throttle response and stuff, so yeah, might do that. We'll look into it. There's another thing down here. It's a vacuum part that has a butterfly inside the inlet manifold that changes it from like a slow long moving track to a shorter track for different power. I think that changes around about 4,000 RPM or so, and the car's also got VVT. These things are notorious for being slow as hell, so I feel like the only way to really sport this thing up is go turbo. You know, nothing too wild. I might put a G25 660 on, or maybe even a G30 660 or something like that. Maybe a G. I like the larger turbine wheel size on standard engines, because moving that torque further up in the band reduces the load on the rods, obviously, the time on torque. So I think smaller turbo, although it would do the sort of power I'm looking for, which is around about 300 horsepower, I feel like a larger turbine wheel is only going to benefit that, but the downside of that would be just a little bit of lag. So yeah, I think that's probably the direction I'm going to go. But in typical Scottish fashion, it started raining, so I best start assembling some of this interior again, get the back ends in, get the seat belt strapped down, get the back seats on, and yeah, see where we end up with this. You know, having a little walk around this thing, surprisingly, it is actually pretty clean. There is only a couple of little rust spots, we're saying there, in the inner arches and around the outsides. Obviously this thing has never had a wash in about 40 years. But the places that these things normally rust in, you know, we have a little bit here, but that's just from where a wheel's been in the back rubbing and it's rusted through. But down there is usually where they rot through, and it's not rotting through. So as much as I bought this thing to clean up and do the welding and stuff on it, I'm not actually going to need to do as much as I thought. So like, there's even the, does it have one? Oh yeah. Let's see if this screws in here or if it's sheared off or something. I don't know. Let's mark this as the start of the rebuild of the IS200 Sport. But yeah, I just thought I'd pull all the mats out and get a good look to see what is rusty, what parts need to be sorted, and kind of go from there. The car is MOT just now, so once I get some nice legal tyres on and stuff, I can go for a little drive. That'll be in another video, but this is more just the intro, the base of the car, where everything's starting off, and yeah, I'm excited to see where we're going to end up. Interior wise as well, we'll sort some bits and bobs up. Need to get a head unit and stuff like that too. I'll probably get rid of this gear knob and put a normal one in. It's not got hydro, but that does lock up the back wheels and I'm kind of happy with that. So I might stick a standard steering wheel on it, we'll see. But there's a little bit rough, still cleaning all that shite out from last night, all the oil in the cylinders, and I will need to make the exhaust. Naturally, with it being an IS200, we have the lights on everywhere, traction control light flashing a lot, so these are all things I'm going to have to sort. Probably lambda sensors and stuff for the decal and the manifold, but yeah. Throttle body mod, as you'll see here, you'll see when I move this throttle body, the cable side, it doesn't open fully up. A little bit of a delay there. So, yeah, she's running rough. We'll sort it all out, so she's in good hands. Anyway guys, that's the introduction into the IS200. Well, the engine's away for the RX7. It's going to be away for quite a few months probably to get the sleeves done. It's Spec J Motorsport, so while we're waiting for that, I decided, you know, we'll have a little bit of fun. Anyway guys, thanks for coming along and watching the video, and as always, we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.